You can, we're always trying to refine our breath in, these still poses and in, our traditional asana poses. So one of the things we look for is a quiet breath. So notice if there's anywhere here that your breath is not quiet. Is there anywhere you hear your breath? So maybe it's in, your nose, maybe you're stuffed up a little bit. Maybe it's in your throat or your chest. And you don't have to really fix it. Just notice for now. It takes a while to start, moving inward into your practice. So you might notice as you're here, you're connected for a few minutes or a few moments on your breath, and then the mind wanders off. So whenever you notice that, keep gathering your attention back and anchoring it on your breath, so that you slowly move your attention to your inner focus. And then go ahead and bring your feet together. You keep your arms the way they are. And become sensitive to the area below your belly button, above your pelvic floor, the lower belly area. And as you inhale, let your breath fill. And as you exhale, lift the lower belly up as if you're lifting it up towards the spine. And as you inhale slowly, let it move back down. So you're exhaling, gathering that area up and in. And then inhaling, slowly releasing. Move with the pace of your own breath, becoming, used to these muscles in the lower belly, lifting and releasing. And when we move into our planks and as we hold ourselves up, this is how we draw up and in. We draw the lower belly up and in to hold our core so that our back stays safe. Okay, so your next exhale, don't squeeze, just let your breath be relaxed. And then you can slide your hands underneath your shoulders and push back to all fours. Move into cat-cow when you're ready. As you exhale, round through the spine, pressing into your hands and releasing your head. And as you inhale, lift your tailbone up and open up through the front of your spine. Notice how your back feels tonight. And if you need to move in any other way to release tension around your back, go ahead and do that. And then we'll come back to neutral and take your block and put it the small way in between your thighs. And you can come back to all fours. So we're just going to use the block to try to get a little access. So push down through your hands, roll your upper arms in a little bit and draw the hands together, but they don't move. So you're engaged here. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze your block, engage the pelvic floor, start to round the back, hollow out the lower belly and draw it in. And as you inhale, release the lower belly, the pelvic floor, and the pressure on the block. So as you exhale, you're squeezing and almost scooping up and in. And as you inhale, you're slowly releasing. And you want to be gentle with yourself. You don't have to be rigid with, the three different parts. You can let them kind of blend together and move together. And then we'll come back to neutral. Take out your block and press back into downward dog. So in downward dog, you can pedal out your legs, bend one knee and then the other. And then come up on your tiptoes and reach the hips back. Good. Soften the shoulders, push into your hands, lower the heels as much as you're comfortable. But you want to feel like if you think about, a dog stretching like this, and you look at their belly, it's kind of, the lower belly is hollowed out. So draw your lower belly in and use it to pull your hips back. Great. And then stay there, push into your hands. Let your breath be nice and easy. Notice where you feel the movement of the breath here. And then come into plank pose. Okay, so now we're in plank. So you want to tighten through the thighs, push out through the heels, and that lift through the lower belly that we found before. Find that to support you. So draw the lower belly in and back. Push down through your hands, and then feel like you're drawing your hands together like we did in all fours. Find your breath. And then the back of your head is in line with your sacrum. So you try to keep the chin down and the head back. See if you can find your breath here. I know it's kind of a long time for this very early in the practice, but push back to downward dog. Come back to a relaxed breath and then come back to plank. Tighten through the thighs, lift out through the heels, lift through the lower belly. Looks great. And your heads look good too. So it's just like you're drawing your head back, chin level. And then go ahead and press back to downward dog. Bring your knees down to the floor and press back into child's pose. Relax around your shoulders. And in this position, you're totally protected. So, you might have a wider child's pose, but if your legs are together, you can actually let the belly rest down towards the thighs. So letting go of tension in your abdomen around your organs. Tension around the digestive system in general. Just let the belly relax. Then we'll come back to all fours. Back to downward dog. Look forward in between your hands and start to walk up into a forward fold. So what you're going to do is just step your feet apart a little bit and turn your toes out. And hands to the floor, you're going to bend your knees out to the side and lower your hips down. If you're not sure, look up here. Good. So your hips are level, your back is level. You're pushing into your feet, pushing into the hands. And you can let your breath be nice and easy. You start to feel your legs warming up here. Notice if your breath becomes a little bit more labored and see if you can let go of effort. And then we're going to bring the hands to the ankles and start to straighten the legs up, relaxing your head. And then we'll push down through the feet, bring your hands to your waist and come all the way up to sleep. Okay. And if your toes are pointed out, you can bring them back in We were on our wrists a little bit and we can see that some people were starting to want to shake them out. So we'll just do a couple things for the wrist before we get into our sun salutation. So you're gonna bring your index finger and your middle finger together with your thumb and just start to roll your wrists. And then start to move your arms up and come up onto your toes as you lift your arms overhead. And then roll back down, lowering your hands and your heels at the same time. Just do that 2 more times. And even though it's a really kind of simple movement, your wrists do feel this after a couple times. Down. And then one more time up. And down. Shape out your wrists and bring your feet together. So we're going to move into some sun salutations. We'll do one straight through and then we'll add some standing poses. So bring your hands to namaste. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward into a forward fold. Bring your hands to the floor. And then hands to the shins halfway up. Exhale, fold, hands back down to the floor. Inhale, step your right leg back. And you can lower your knees to the floor as you sweep your arms up. Exhale, down and back to downward dog. Inhale, forward and plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up into cobra. And exhale, press back into downward dog. Inhale, right leg comes forward, left knee lowers, and your arms come up. So use the opposite that we did for the forward. And then exhale, hands come down, step forward to a forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale to namaste. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg steps back and your arms move up. Exhale, down and back to downward dog. Inhale, forward into plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up into cobra, up dog, and exhale, press back into down. Inhale, left leg comes forward, arms sweep up. Exhale, down and forward to a forward fold. Inhale to halfway up. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale to namaste. Soften your knees, lift up into sternum. You can press the backs of thumbs to your heart. You're nice and straight, find your breath. And then we'll keep going. So inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward into a forward fold. Step your right leg back into a lunge, and we'll bring the knee down, top of the foot on the floor. Okay. And we're gonna just walk the left foot out a tiny bit and bring the hands to the inside. And you sink your pelvis down pretty low here. Okay. And then with your left foot, you lift your toes up off the floor. So you can push down into the bone beneath the big toe, and then down into the bone beneath the little toe. And you'll start to let your knee come out to the side, but keep your big toe mound down on the floor. Just notice how far it comes. It doesn't matter how far it comes out, but let it come out as much as you can. Push through your foot again. Your toes are up, but it's almost like the little bones beneath your toes are all down. Find your breath. And then we'll bring your knee up and walk it back in. Turn your toe under the back and lift up into a high lunge. So really tight through the back thigh, push down through the front foot and bring your hands up to your thigh. And lift through the belly. Lift the toes up off the floor and push down into the bone beneath the big toe and the little toe. Reach your arms up. Engage the belly, open up into a little bit of a backward bend here. And go back to your breath. So feel your breath. Good, and then relax the toes down and open up into warrior two. Okay, looks good. So bend into your front knee, engage the belly and lengthen through your lower back. Relax your shoulders. And you're gonna do the same thing here. Pick up the toes on the front. You can do it on both feet, but especially on the front foot. Look down and make sure your front foot is straight. And then you're gonna let the knee move out to the left side so that you're using your inner thighs as much as, the outside of your thighs. Let your breath be nice and easy. You wanna keep your leg in this position. If you wanna bring your toes down now, go ahead, or you can keep them lifted. We're gonna lean to the side and come into side angle pose. So either forearm to the thigh and the right arm reaches up and over, or you can bring your left hand down to the floor. Rotate your belly and your heart up towards the ceiling. Push down to the feet. Feel engaged there, but soften around your heart. Okay, and then we'll come back to warrior two. Circle down into a lunge. Excuse me. Step back into downward dog. And you can notice how you feel on that side. And even reach your left leg back behind you. Bend the knee and open up the hip to the side to release around the hip. Push through your hands, soften around your neck. Let your breath be nice and easy. So you're looking for that nice refined breath you had in crocodile pose at the beginning. And then we'll come back down to center. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up into cobra, up dog. And exhale, press back into downward dog. Inhale, right leg comes forward into a lunge. You can bring the left knee down. We're going to try it all on this side. So bring your right foot out a little bit, bring your hands in. Lift up your toes, push down in between the big toe and the little toe, and then let the knee move out to the side. Good. Notice if you just kind of collapse through your arms, you still want to keep that same position you kind of had in plank where the upper arms roll in and you're engaged. Let your breath be nice and easy. And then we'll go ahead and walk the foot back in. Turn your toes under and lift into a high lunge with the back leg. And walk into a high lunge. So sometimes the pelvis tips forward, so lift up through the lower belly, lengthen through the lower back. Lift up your toes so that you're pushing down through both points. Let your breath, you can come to a backward bend, let your breath be nice and easy. So one person I trained with, all of the standing poses were done with toes up to help you learn to engage through your inner thighs. Let's go ahead and come into warrior two. And into your front knee. And lift up the toes here. Let the knee move out to the right side. And this is a typical thing that happens is that knee caves in, and this helps to keep, that inner thigh wrapping up and around. Soften your shoulders. Let your breath be easy. And then we'll lean and come into side angle pose, whatever version of side angle you like. Have a lot of power through the feet. Whether you keep your toes up or not is your choice. But really push through the legs so that you can soften around your heart and shoulders. and let the energy move through the whole body. And then we'll come back to warrior two. Circle down into a lunge and step back in downward dog. Lift your right leg back behind you, bend the knee and open up the hip to the side. Push through the hands, relax your neck, soften all around the neck. Great. Keep your breath nice and easy. And then come back down. Look for it in between your hands and walk or hop up into a forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale to namaste. Next side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward into a forward fold. Step your left leg back into a lunge, and right leg comes back in the downward dog. We'll reach the left leg back behind you. This time we'll keep the hips straight. And as you exhale, come into plank, bringing the knee in towards the chest. And as you inhale, reach back out. So when you come in and exhale, you're working with your breath, draw the belly up and in, just like we've been working on. The next time you come forward, keep the leg hovered in just for a breath or two. Really lift up through the belly, draw the leg up and in, and then you can flip the foot forward into a lunge. Pivot on your right foot and open up in the triangle pose. So keep pushing down into the bone beneath your big toe. See if you kind of lost that maybe a little bit. Soften your front, have a micro bend in your front knee so you're not hyperextended. And then push through the feet, reach up through your top arm and come up to standing. And then we're going to turn the hips forward and maybe even step the right foot around and come up into warrior. Turn into warrior one, push through the feet, lengthen through the spine. And remember about this lifting through the belly. So lift the lower belly and lengthen through the lower back. And that's what we're going to focus on as you come forward onto your left leg and come into warrior three. So first, try to find your refined breath in warrior three. Lift your belly and lengthen through the low back here. Sometimes the lower back starts to sway. And then soften your front knee, take a step back into warrior one. Hands come down to the floor and you step back into downward dog. Stay with the breath. So inhale, come forward and plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up to cobra. And exhale, press back into downward dog. We're going to try this on the other side. So right leg comes back behind you. And as you exhale, bring yourself forward and plank, knee in towards the chest. Inhale, reach back. So work with your breath and see if you can pay attention to really the lift in the belly as you come forward. But in the next time you come in and hover and stay there for just a breath. And then you can bring the foot forward into a lunge, turn it open into triangle pose. Push through your feet, lengthen through the spine. So lean back so that your head is in line with your sacrum if you can. So that might mean sliding your pelvis forward or leaning back through the shoulders. Good. Let your breath nice and easy. And then we'll push down through the feet, reach up through the top arm, coming up to standing, and then pivoting around to face the short side of your mat. You might have to step the left foot so that the toes are forward and come into warrior one. Push through the feet, lift the lower belly, and lengthen through the spine. And if you want to come into a backward bend, lift open with the thoracic spine, so open up through the heart to keep the lower and mid back a little bit longer. And then we'll start to come back to neutral and come forward into warrior three. First thing you do is find your breath and try to support this pose from a relaxed place. You may want to check in with your belly and make sure you're engaged. And the other thing is you've been working on the head. So bring the chin down, reach the head back. Sometimes the head may suck. So soften through the front knee, step back into warrior one. We'll bring your hands down to the floor and step back into downward dog. Look forward in between your hands and walk or hop up into the floor. And go all the way up. And exhale to nose. Hands down to Tadasana, soften the knees, the other side of the heel. Okay, so good news, only 2 sun salutations today. We're done with this. We're going to come down and work a little bit more on this core. So when you're doing any kind of arm balance or anything like that, you have to lift up through the belly. That's one of it's actually probably more important than the arm strength in these. So we're going to just try a couple of them. Some might be easier than others for you. So what we're going to do to start is just come down into a squat. So you're up on your toes. The first one is baby crow. So what you do in baby crow is you really kind of make yourself really into a small little ball here. And you bring your forearms down to the floor. And then you kind of lift forward, squeeze the legs into the arms, and see if you can find a couple breaths. So your forearms are on the floor. That's the hard thing. Yeah, you have to, and so if you're not gonna be able to do that, just work on like making yourself really small here. And see, you don't try to come on and just work towards forearms being down. And of course, there's less place to fall if you do fall because you're really close to the ground. And what you do is you really hug your legs into your arms for this to sit up. So your legs are squeezing and your belly is lifted. And you may only stay there for a second or two. Good. Okay. And many times people find that baby crow is harder than regular crow. So I can't figure it out. It's hard because you really are low, and then it's almost like you wrap your legs around your upper arms, and you just kind of hug in and lift your belly and start to lift your toes up off the floor. Okay. Yeah. And it's a different feeling. We're used to having more space between us and the ground. Okay. So let's go ahead and try our regular crows now, and maybe they'll be a little bit, we'll have a little more space. Thing to remember with crow is just to build up, stack our joints and our bones. So we don't want the elbows out like that, we want them in like that, okay? So you're gonna come in like that, and you lift your legs up, and just tip forward, and you might get one foot or the other, but it's a lift in the belly. it. And that's gonna be, I mean, that's what we need for all when we're resting on our arms. We need that core support. So we'll keep practicing it, but now I want to make sure that we stretch out the rest of our body that we were working. So go ahead and come back onto your stomachs. We're going to come into space pose. Come up into space. Like the Sphinx. And you can kind of pull back on your hands and lift your heart forward. And you'll notice your back is really bent here. You can engage your lower belly to create some support for your low back. Okay, and then we're gonna bend your left knee, bring your left arm out in front, and come around and catch the inside of the foot. And then bend your elbow up, bring your foot down, and find your breath. And you want to try to not sink into this arm like this. You want to keep lifting up. Let your breath be nice and easy. And then go ahead and release. We'll try that on the other side. Bend your right knee, bring your right arm around, catching the foot, and then bend your elbow up as you bring your foot down. Find your breath. And then go ahead and come down. And we'll rest all the way back down into crocodile pose. So let your back relax here. And when we were doing crocodile pose at the beginning, we were focusing mainly in the belly, pressing that into the floor. Now see if you can focus a little bit more on the low back. And as you inhale, expanding into the low back area. And bring your feet a little closer together. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself back to all fours. Sit to one side of your legs and bring your legs up in front of you. So, of course, you can do that with both legs at the same time. That's frog pose. But I felt like you've done it tonight, so I didn't want to have to do that. So, let's move into some leg stretches. We're going to keep the left leg out and bring the right foot in. Bring your hands down alongside you. You want to push your leg and your foot together. Lift up through the spine. You can lift your arms up and then start to tip forward, keeping as long as you can, and then letting the hand rest somewhere. Softening your elbows, and this is head to knee pose. So you let your forehead sink down towards your knee, even if it doesn't reach there. And feel the stretch in the back of your neck. Keep pushing your foot and your leg together. And you may feel a little lift in your lower belly as you lengthen out through the sternum and keep your head bent. And even though there's some gait and engagement around your body, you can still let the breath be nice and easy. And then move forward, reach your arms up, come all the way up. And we'll turn to the right, bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Lift up with the right arm, and then tip over to the side. Relax your shoulders. And then come back up the center. Come back around. And we'll switch sides. So left leg out, right leg in. Bring the hands aside. You push your foot and your leg together. Reach your arms up. Lift up and start to lower down towards your leg. Soften your elbows. Let your hands touch something. Soften your elbows. And you can curl your head down towards your knee. Let your rest be easy. So see if you can engage a little bit more, just collect. So you push your leg and your foot together. You can engage the lower belly, lengthen out through the spine. Keep the head relaxed. And then we'll reach forward, reach the arms up. Turn towards the left and bring the right hand outside of the left knee. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling and then come down to your side bend. See if you can relax around the throat, around your heart. Up. And turn back to the front, and you can bring your legs out. Bend your knees, bring your feet down. And we'll have your hands behind you. You want your fingers facing forward if you can. Knees bent. I'm just going to do a reverse table. So push down through your feet, lift your hips up, and push down through your knees. Find your breath. And then lower your hips down. Stretch your legs out, both of them. And you can push into your feet, lift your up through your crown, reach your arms up and tip forward into your forward. So here the activation is, through the tops and the bottom of the legs. So you tighten through the thighs, press the backs of the thighs down and flex your feet. Lengthen out through the heart. Let your neck is really relaxed here. Focus on your breathing. With each exhale, think about letting go. And then we'll lift the heart forward, reach up and up. Bring your arms down. And we're going to start to move to our backs for a floor series. So make sure you have your block handy. We'll go ahead and line your backs. We started out in crocodile, so we really have been in here, which is tough. So let yourself enjoy being on the floor. Back being a couple breaths. And bend your knees and bring your feet up. And we'll lift your hips up, slide your block under for a supportive bridge. Make sure you're high on your shoulders. Let your hips rest into the block. Soften around your face, around your head. Let your breath be easy. And then you can lift your legs up into inverted action if that feels good for you. You might want to lower your block one if it's up. So still staying high on your shoulders. Move your attention to your breath in your nose. And then go ahead and bend your knees down. Lift up away from your block and slide your block out. Slowly lower your hips down. And you can bring your right knee into your chest. Stretch your left leg out along the floor. And use your left hand to bring the right leg across the body into a twist. So once you get there, you can reach out to the right one. Maybe look over the right shoulder, but let your body relax. Let the floor support you. And see if you can release down towards the floor. And then we'll come back up to center. Straighten your leg out along the floor. We're going to do that to the other side. So left leg comes in. And you can use your right hand to bring it across the body into a twist. Look out over your left shoulder. Feel the internal space of your body and let your breath move into that space. And then come back up to center. Let your leg come out along the floor. So the last little sequence we're going to do is a fish sequence. And you'll have to lift up away from the floor a little bit with your upper body. And you take your block, it's a supported fish. So you bring it, you can do it lengthwise or horizontally. Horizontally is a little easier. And you find a little above mid-back. And you lay over the block and open up through the heart. So if your block is too low, it's not going to be comfortable. And if it's too high, it's not going to be comfortable. So you want to have it so the top of the block comes right around the ends of the shoulder blades. The bottoms of the shoulder blades. You let yourself lean over. So adjust if you're not comfortable. Let your breath, and with your block here, you can bring your hands to namaste if you're comfortable. So back to the thumbs of the heart. And then we'll bring the hands down, tuck your chin and roll away from your block. Slide your block out. And then lower all the way down onto your back. And you take your head in your hands And just rock the head from side to side, releasing any tension in your neck. And then prepare for Shavasana. So feel the floor beneath you. And notice if there's any part of you that's kind of gripping or tensing up away from the floor, and see if you can soften and relax down towards the floor. Start to become aware of your breath in your abdomen. And let go of effort in your breathing. So let go of trying to do anything with your breath, and also soften around the muscles of your abdomen, your hip joints, your pelvic floor, so that there's nothing in the way of the breath and everything is relaxed. And you can breathe at the pace that's right for you. So everybody breathes a little differently, depending on their metabolism. So let the pace of your breath be natural. Move your attention to your head and soften the muscles around the top of your head. Soften the sides and the back of your head. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes, your temples. The muscles around your cheeks, your jaw, the muscles around your mouth, inside of your mouth. Release down through the back of your neck, the front of your throat, and down through the sides of your neck. And then soften across the tops of your shoulders, down through your upper arms, your forearms, wrists, palms of your hands, backs of your hands. Through the roots of your fingers all the way to your fingertips. And you can sense for your fingertips. And then release back up through your hands, your arms, and shoulders. Soften your upper back and the muscles across your chest. Let go of any tightness around your heart. Observe your heart area, the space in your heart. And as you do that, notice your body breathing. And then release down through your abdomen. Down through your pelvis. Your hip joints. Around your thighs. Down through your shins and your calves. Your ankles. Tops and bottoms of your feet all the way to your toes. You can sense for the tips of your toes. And then release back up through your feet, up through your legs. Up through your pelvis and your torso. Down through your arms and your hands. And then back up and up through your neck, your face, and your head. You can observe your whole body. Feel your body as a space. And let your breath move in and out of the space. And as you exhale, let go of anything you don't need. So any stress, fatigue, any pain. And as you inhale, bring new, clear, supportive energy into your system. And then feel your body resting on the floor again. And you can start to hear the sound around you, feel the breath in your abdomen. Start to move your fingers and toes. And then bend your knees, bring your feet up to the floor. Then you can roll onto your side. Taking a couple breaths on your side. And then making your way all the way up to a seated position. You can bring your hands to namaste at your heart center, having gratitude for your practice, your inner awareness that you're cultivating. So full forward seal in the benefits of the practice. And come back. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. So if you're in the teacher training, we're going to take a 10-minute opening and evening each to grab stuff and we'll meet back. I got it.
It was in a rush.
Yeah, oh, that's okay.
Yeah, but I think it was that.
There's been so much construction too. It's like we're getting it all in.
Usually it takes only 15 minutes for me to get there. I left at 5:30 and then I was like.
I had the same issues, yeah.
Yeah.
5:20.
It happened.
Yeah.
We should, maybe we could.
I was thinking about you
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
We should do that sometimes.
Yeah,
You know, I can like 2 hours, you know.
yeah, right?
I remember.
It totally is. Now that Mediterra is open, it's really hard to